and welcome back to the Reapers. So it's the day after the big fight. So we did a 11 versus 11 red versus blue PvP match. It was pretty awesome. Just to roughly guide you what's going on the screen here, we've got the red base here where all the red guys take off from. Red ground units there, red ground units there, and roughly mirrored you've got blue ground units, and in the background there somewhere, probably here I imagine, is the blue base. So it was a pretty cool match, but as usual we're going to go and do our tactical debrief now. So this is where I look at the engagements and criticise, because that's my job, and the main reason we do this is so that my guys can go over it and see what they did right and wrong and learn from it, including myself. And also I upload it because viewers seem to enjoy it for some reason, but I shan't complain. So each team has available all types of aircraft, so from F-15s down to Spitfires. And just so you know that the more virtually valuable each plane is, say an F-15 is extremely valuable money-wise, then the less they get. So they get like 3 F-15s, and then if you go down to the bottom end and you get like a propeller aeroplane, they get hundreds of them because they're much cheaper. That's the way we keep it kind of tactical. Otherwise everyone would just be in F-15s and it would get really boring really quick. I can't really remember what happened now. I think Reds won, but let's go and look at the engagement. Stand by, I'm going to scroll to the first one. Okay, so join the action here. Now I remember Blues were pretty unorganised. They were pretty much everywhere. Maybe they had a good little squadron of Mirages here. Reds were very organised. They had the Eagle flight together here, and they've just gone for 1 mile spread, as they are trained to do, and it looks like they're in a bit of a crank at the moment. Red Mirages are going in and flying in formation at the moment, but at some point they will split to a tactical split. Blues are coming in. We've got missiles out. Stand by. 2 Vigans shooting. Don't know why. Let's roll that back and see what that was all about. This might have been Blasty messing around. Yeah, so I'm not sure what Blasty was doing. He got himself in trouble yesterday. He just kept firing at everything and crashing. So we'll just ignore him. I don't know what is his problem, but we'll carry on anyway. Tender, F-15s, posturing aggressive. These guys are, well, slowly getting there. Let's scroll forward anyway, because I've got a while before we get any engagements. Okay, Reds have detected their foe. Blues haven't detected really much at all. Oh, okay, looks like the blue Mirages have... now, what won it for the Reds, really, apart from the ground units, is they had a full-time GCI. That's someone who guides, just sits in the AWACS and guides the Reds into combat. And so you can see how well postured the Reds are here. These guys are going right into combat. These guys are going right into combat. The Blues are a bit all over the place. You got this Vigan flying this way, this F-15 flying this way. The Mirage is kind of turning around. F-15 up there flying that way. So you can see why the Reds did a better engagement. Right. We have Signori going defensive. I'm not sure why. Oh, right. Yeah. I've turned it off, but that is a SAM site there, an SA6 SAM site, and it reaches all the way out to here. You can make it show the zone that it can fire in, the danger zone, but because there's so many SAMs, I've turned it off for this one. Otherwise, you'd be forever trying to see through the zones. So basically, they're turning back because the GCR said you're getting too close to this SA6. There'll be an SA6 in there somewhere, I imagine. So that's what's going on. Let's scroll it forward. So it's a bit of disadvantage for Red there. So what Blues have done inadvertently is basically sucked the Reds into the SAM system. So that's a good, that's actually a good thing to do. Let's carry on. There is a SAM going out here. Yep. So that is an SA6 missile, which are long range. They're like 13 miles. It's probably going for those Mirages. So those Mirages will pick that up on their warning receiver and get the hell out of there, which they have. Yep. So they're out of there well in time. So the Reds have put themselves in a bit of a tactical disadvantage by getting too efficient, going in too fast, which is an interesting thing to look at. Now it looks like a 10-mile standoff. Right, there is a missile out from ICO. That's an AIM-120. Why don't we analyse that shot? Who's he? Well, we don't know who he's firing at, unfortunately. So I can't really analyse it. I guess... right. So let's see. We've got Squiddle and ICO that set them up. Right, let's play that through again. I've assumed that ICO and Squiddle are firing at each other. I don't know really if that's the case, but so we've got ICO and an F-15, Squiddle and an F-15, so it's a good match. Now they're 10 miles, so they should be coming out of their crank if they're doing what they're supposed to. Let's look at the difference. So Squiddle's high, 700 knots, Angel's 14, that's pretty good. Ico is exactly the same, 700 knots. Angel's 13, 14, slightly low for my liking, but all is pretty well, so they're doing their jobs well. They're at 10 miles now. That is within kill shot, so they really want to fire ASAP and get out of there. They've both got Fox 3 fire and forget, so they can get that done. 8 miles now. And we've got the missile out. And Ico should be going cold now, so no reason to fly into a huge battery of enemies. And we've got an AIM-120 Charlie and Bravo. The Charlie is a slightly faster missile. We'll see. You see, it made over 2,000 knots, where the Bravo is slightly slower. Let's have a look at that now. Squirrel did what he was supposed to do. He got his missile off at 10 miles. Bang on the money, slightly below 10 miles. He did his countermeasures. He did his turn away, so he's going to beat that missile. Ico hasn't done it. He's just carried on flying into the reds. So we'll see him. He's a new guy. He's not a full-timer. So we can see the difference between an experienced guy and a new guy here. And I expect he's going to get hit because he just hasn't done any work to get away from that missile. And of course, pow. That's an excellent example of how to get shot. Right. And it's all kicking off now. We've got Signore. While that fight's been going on, Signore and Cadron have got in action. So Signore is right down at Angels 3. I don't know why he's so low. Ah, right, it's because the hostiles are down low. And that's a good point. Now, a lot of people like to, if the hostile is down low, a lot of people like to come in high and long bomb their missile in from high. It gives the missile a tiny bit of advantage because, you know, you've got gravity working with the missile. Also, the missile's flying for some time up here in the thin air, which the missile loves. That said, I prefer matching the target of the enemy if possible. So you've got two here, Angels 5, Angels 1. Average of that is Angels 3, so Signore's worked that out and he's gone in between them here at Angels 3. He's got his speed up to 700 knots, which is excellent. The reason I like to go down with the enemy, whether they're high, so I like to match their height basically. The reason is it allows me to calculate the firing range easier in my head. So every time I'm going to take a shot, I've got to calculate the optimal firing range. If both parties are at Angels 20, the optimal firing range for a hot engagement is 10 miles. If we're here, which is essentially down on the deck, our optimal firing range is 6 to 7 miles. Now, if I'm up at Angels 20 and they're down at Angels 3, I've got to then interpolate in my head calculate the firing range, which will be halfway between which is basically halfway between 6.5 and 10, which is what, 8.25 or something. So I've got to work that out while fighting, and that's hard to do. Well, I like to make it easy for myself, so I can just crack off that number. It's in my head. So I come down here. I know we're on the deck. Parties are hot. That's a 6 to 7 mile shot. That's why I do it. Hopefully, that's why Signore is doing it too. So I know Cadron's fired here, but we'll just concentrate on Signore. Let me set the fight up. Right, so we've set Signore up versus Odge. I don't know who Odge is. He's a new guy. On Sundays we allow anyone to come in so they can kind of prove themselves. And then that's how they work their way up to be a full-time member. So new guys could be really good or could be really bad. You never know until you get them in the arena. So let's look at the distance between two hot targets, both relatively fast. That Mirage is a bit slow for my liking, but it's not too bad. So if Signore follows his training right, he should fire between 6 and 7 miles. Let's see if he does. I'm sure he will. Slightly early. He's fired just over 7 miles, but you know it's not a million miles out. So that is potentially a kill shot if Odge doesn't do... so that is a pitbull by now. That's well within pitbull range. Odge should have got that marker and turned around by now, but he's not. He's decided to fly straight into the missile. Too late, sir. Too late to dodge. That's a kill shot. And Cadron's backing him up. Now, pointer here. Cadron has fired 1, 2, 3 missiles all at this guy. Assuming they're all going for this guy. That's bad. It's just a waste of missiles. 1 missile will have just as much effect as 3 missiles. If this guy's not going to dodge, he'll get hit by the first missile. If he's going to dodge, he'll dodge all missiles. So 1 missile is all you need to fire. Your natural reaction in any combat is to just press the trigger as many times as you can, but it's just a waste. It's just a waste for everything basically. Anyway, let's carry on and see. He's just not dodged Odge. He's just flown into the missiles, so he's obviously out. And then these missiles were just a complete waste. So some good things to learn there. I think Signore may have popped a missile off at this guy here, Zoidberg. Zoidberg, I think I remember, a little more experience, so expect to see some actual action dodging from him. These Mirages are getting plenty of warnings these missiles are coming, so they don't have to see them or anything. Their computers are telling them that the missile's coming and where it's coming from. So I expect to see Zoidberg do the dodge, but he's not pulling hard enough. He's not pulling hard enough. Let's look at the Gs he's got on. 1.2 G. Oh, sorry, I got the wrong guy set up. He's at 3 Gs. He should be at 9 G if he wants to defeat that missile or near there. So he's cocked up and he's probably going to get shot. So look at the difference in tactics here. He's fired a missile out. He's ignored this missile to his detriment. He's fired a missile out at Signore. Signore, who is a full-time member, is not going to fall for it. He's going to pull a 9G turn. And look, 11G he's pulling there. That's even too fast. But he's making sure he does a big enough turn to beat this missile, and so he will. So another great example of how to dodge a missile and how not to dodge a missile. And this guy's doomed. There's nothing he can do. He should have been pulling 9G back here and getting out. And Signore obviously easily beat that missile. It's still at 9G. Look at that. Great flying. And he managed to maintain 500 knots. So that's not too bad. That's good to see. Next tender is coming in. Let's just have a quick situational awareness. You've got Stahl doing something coming in. Tender's in the fight next. Now Tender's lost situational awareness. Look, he's surrounded by targets. He's surrounded by, I don't know what's going on there. There's a Matra out for someone. I don't know who. He's surrounded by Signore right next to him. This guy right next to him. This guy is high but right next to him. But he's just not used his radar right. And he's flying into a world of pain there. So, when you're in an F-15, really any modern BVR fighter, they're not designed to charge in and then look for enemies. They're designed to look for enemies at 20, 40, 50, 60 miles away. Choose a target that you think is right for the picking, and then fly towards that target. If you lose that target, like Tender's done, don't just charge into the melee. That's what you do maybe if you had a Spitfire. It's not what you do with an F-15. If you've lost your target, like in this case, turn around, get back to 40 miles, reverse, and look again. So what he's going to do is going to find himself in a world of pain here because he's just flown into a hornet's nest. I don't know what this match was for. I think it must have been for an old target. These guys are just probably seeing each other, checking each other out to make sure they're friendly. Tender's still not seen anyone and still in a world of pain. Let's scroll forward now. I don't think got much to learn by this, and I just cocked up. Let's get that back. Tender's coming in. Look at that. So Raptor was the man of the match. He got 11 air kills to no losses, which is absolutely perfect. He did every single decision perfectly and every single maneuver well. So we'll use him as our study mule. So Tender's somehow not been spotted, but look, he's missed all of these opportunities and he's got no chance of killing anyone basically. So there's a complete lack of situational awareness there. Going to scroll forward as people try and work out where everyone is. Zoom out. Okay, we've got guys tangling here. I don't know how they found each other, but they have. Cadron should find Tender here now and probably shoot him, but no. The thing is, when you're close like this, they're like 4 miles away. This guy's radar cone is so narrow by the time it's around this F-15, you'd have to be pointing right at him to see him with your radar. So if you don't see him with your eyes, then that's how this guy's got through. He's just been so close to them. I still don't really know what he's trying to shoot. Whoa! Let's scroll back. We have an engagement. Okay, Signore. Okay, he's being a little bit silly here. So, what Signore has done, he's come in, he's had a lovely fight, and he's guilty. He did this last time, the last match I analysed. He did a lovely fight, got the kill, but now he's just spinning around in circles in the danger zone, not achieving anything. What I try and tell him to do is don't do that. Come in, get the kill, then get out. If you have to spin around in circles, do it around here where you're not going to get shot. If you spin around in circles here, in the danger zone, you're going to get shot. So hopefully he's listening to this and he'll pay some attention this time. Don't spin around in circles in enemy territory. You'll get shot. So while he's spinning around, this guy has found him easily, and that's not much to say about that really. He's closed down to just a few miles to ensure that he can get the kill. At that range, there's nothing this guy, Signore, can do. He's fast, but you're just too close. You can't beat a missile while it's still on burn. Okay, he survived it somehow, but, you know, he's got no hope of surviving now. So we've got something good to learn there. Hurry up, Mirage, just get it done. Signore's pulling too tight. he's losing speed. I've always been taught that by the professionals never to go below 450. I mean, he's doing that correctly. He's oh no, he's just crashed. Okay, so during with an F15 at least, never go below 450 knots. That sounds weird. It is weird, but that's how it's designed to be used. It's not designed to be used any less. Anyway, so I've criticised that. In the meantime, this Mirage, I mean, this Tender's finally, amazingly got through this Hornet's nest and not been spotted, and it's shot on A10, so I guess at least it's done that. Still, it's bad play, bad tactics in my opinion. The A10's going to go down, obviously. It's, you know, it's an AMRAM at a couple of miles. Oops, I just realised we're at half speed. My apologies. Let's get back to full speed. Recoil's going to come in. He's gotten this guy's 6. It's going to be it's a done and dusted fight. There's not much this Mirage can do to avoid now. So let's have a look at that. He's turning well, 600 knots, just as you meant to turn. It's very good. And Recoil's missed him. That's rare. Okay, don't know what happened there. Stahl is a very good pilot, so he's not gonna miss anyone. He's gonna get straight onto this Mirage and find him and kill him. Yep, leveling out. But Raptor's come to save the day. Somehow they've merged with each other and not seen each other. There's a lot of weird flying going on, but okay. They've merged. Tender's redeemed himself. He's now got through and shooting at stuff and killing stuff, which is good work. Yeah, I'll just see Riddle's move up there. We'll go back and have a look at that in a minute. So, yep, Stahl. So Recoil made the mistake. He flew right towards this guy and just missed him somehow. I don't know how. And now he's in a world of pain. Well, it looks like it might be a good fight. So let's set this up for the fight. Okay, Recoil versus Stahl. Stahl is 4 miles away. He's fired his first missile. Recoil did just enough to get away. Let's see, Recoil speed 630 knots. That's good. 6 versus 640 knots. They're the same plane. This should be... oh my god. Right, so Raptor's got into the fight. He circled around here, probably got a GCI from vector from DCI. So this is now a 3-man fight. We've got red on blue on red. So this, I guess, just see what happens. I'm expecting Stahl to realise that missile's coming and dodge it. He's not realised. He's target fixation there. So he's busy fighting this guy. He's not listened to his warnings about the missile coming, assuming that it's... Well, no, he should get missile warning even if it's an IR missile. So he's just so fixated on killing this guy, he's not realised this is coming. Which is just a tough thing to do when I get target fixation all the time. It's finally realised, but it's going to be too late by then, isn't it? Pow. Okay, this is stuff to learn now. What's happened to Tender? He's just shooting down ground target, helicopters and stuff, so that's good. Reds have cleaned up. So, Reds just did the better fighting that came in, the better overall wing posture, better information from their GCI. I'm not sure Blue had any GCI. So they just wiped the floor there, which is good. In the background, this was quite funny. We had Riddle flew in. Let's go and have a look at him, shall we? Zoom. So the Blues were fighting down here as a distraction, and Riddle came in at 960 knots with a loaded plane. That's pretty awesome at 50,000 feet. So look how far he's coming in so fast that even if these guys down here had been GCI'd to him, they couldn't have intercepted. 1,000 knots now. Nearly. Literally nothing could have caught him up. The only thing that could have caught him up now is if someone spawned from base and Zoom climbed up to get him. Yeah, 1,000 knots now. So that's awesome tactic. And what he's going to do is shoot that AWACS down, which severely limits Red's fighting ability, because that AWACS is what's allowing the DCI to see the hostile planes. So it's your #1 target, as we found out from a few days ago. So he's fired from a long range. I think he's panicked a bit here, but he does get through and kill it, as I remember. Blah 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 blah. Pow. Obviously, it's easy kill, but and then he's going to come back. By this time, Reds have realised that he's up here. Let's go and quick have a look around elsewhere. So we start the plane limits are starting to take effect now. There's a bunch of F-15s that have been shot down, so I'm not sure Blue have got any more F-15s after this. Tender. Tender's going to be intercepted. Squiddle, I imagine, has been GCI to intercept Tender, because Tender's been doing damage. Kadron, because of all the Blue fighters got shot down, Kadron's now got an open book to come in and just start killing guys. So hopefully he'll do this right. He's coming in low. The reason he's low is because he's within SA6 SAM range. This SA6 SAM range, this is probably about 5 miles now. If he was up higher, he's literally scraping the ground at the moment. If he was up higher, that SA6 would easily kill him. So he's doing what he has to do to survive now. Blasty's coming in, so I'm sure he'll crash into the ground or something stupid. Whoops. Come on, Cadron. Start killing things. He should easily get a radar signature by now. And we've got missiles going, and for some reason he's got aim 7s. That's okay. That's just how he flies, obviously. And we should get a hit there. And he missed. Good dodging by this guy. AAA going up. Ah, and SA6 has gone up. Look how manoeuvrable that missile was. That's amazing. Is he going to do enough to dodge? Pow! He got hit. I think that's him out. So what he did wrong, well, I don't know. At the end of the day, he flew really close, and he gained altitude right next to an SA6. So, and Tender's coming to finish the job. So Tender's redeemed himself now. Good work. I guess he just flew too close to the SA6. I guess ideally, instead of turning around the SA6, he should just carry on flying super low and then turn around and attack the A10s again. But easier said than done, because he didn't really know where the SA6 was. So that was just fate, I guess. Squiddle's taking his sweet time. It's going a bit slow for my liking, but Tender 700 knots and low. That's good. It's going to be hard for Squiddle to see him down there that fast and that low. What's going on here? Ah, right. So Riddle is now done his job, and his RTB is stayed at 40,000. That was not what I would do, but it's good and it's worked out, and it's still 900 knots. So look, the QRA have scrambled. They're trying to catch up with him now. They're at 20,000 feet, and they're trying to get him, but he's pretty much Winchester now, and nothing catches an F-15 up here. This is where the F-15's designed to be built to go fast. 1,000 knots already. Raptor trying to catch him up at 600 knots, but he ain't gonna do it. Look at that. Raptor's trying to turn now, aim ahead of him to get some lead. This guy's... sorry, I got the wrong way around. Raptor's coming in here. 600 knots, but he can go 600 knots all day, but this guy's now 1,100 knots. So his Mach 1.6-ish in my head. 1.7, 1.8, it's like this bloody fast, whatever it is. And there's nothing this guy's to do to catch up. He'll probably have a pot shot, but this guy's nearly going as fast as a missile now, so it's crazy. He's sending out some flares, just, I don't know, because he can. Excellent work from the Riddle. 1,200 knots, that's nearly Mach 2 now. That's awesome. It took him all that time to get up to Mach 2, but now he's got the energy in his plane. Very, very good. Now, what happened to Squirrel? We're going to have to go back and have a look. Of course, he's dead. So Squiddle is coming in, has decided to attack. He's lost the F-15, so he's gone to attack the A-10s, and I'm guessing he just got shot down by an A-6, plain as that. He's low, he's relatively fast, so he should be okay from the SA-6. Let's speed that up. Just found the... yeah, SA-6 out. Okay. Well, they are difficult to beat when you're out in the open. He's doing what he needs. He's doing his 9G pull. He's doing his countermeasures, but it's just too close. It wasn't really anything he could do there to beat that. So, yep. That's what happens when you fly into an SA-6 at the end of the day. So Blues, led by Coffee, who's very experienced, is keeping them within this SA-6 range, i.e. keeping them safe. So they're all safe, those A-10s in that SA-6 range. Tender's RTB out of missiles. And that's it for now. Now look at them trying to catch up Riddle. Let's speed it up again. You can see how he just falls back. It will take maybe 3 minutes for Raptor to get up to catching speed, so it was almost a waste of time sending them up once you're that fast. 1,300 knots, that's Mach 2.1 maybe. And back he goes, Mach 2.2, my rough maths. 2.1, 2.2, 1,400 knots, what's that, 2.25, 2.3, and he's going down. Great example of a nice deep air strike, deep aerial strike, very good. Anyway, let's carry on. So, Blues loitering around here in protection. They're waiting for cap superiority, i.e. all these guys to get shot down before they come in, which is the right thing to do. If the Hogs just came in now, willy-nilly, they will just get shot down by the red cap. So they're waiting for their moment. So that's very good. Whoops. Okay, let's see what fight's going on. Nothing down in the south. In the north, we have Aiko, new guy, in a flanker. Let's see what he can do. Let's speed it up. Let's just roll it forward. Okay, stuff's going on. So Aiko is firing a very silly shot. Let's try and get him on screen. So we've got Aiko, new guy, SC27, Oderosa, experienced guy, Mirage. It's going to be a one-way fight probably. So what's happened is Aiko has decided to fire on a cold Mirage at 15 miles, which is, as I'm sure you've learnt by my talks nowadays, a completely pointless shot. Everyone's up at Angels 20, which is my favourite altitude. Everyone's fast, which is nice. But if you fire, I mean, flankers are a bit of a different bag to F-15. I'm an F-15 man, excuse me. But still, firing at a cold hostile at 15 miles is completely pointless. That missile wouldn't get there in a million years. The only way to get the kill is if Oderosa suddenly turned around and flew into the missile, which is extremely unlikely to happen. What it has done, and what flankers can do sometimes, is fire a kind of, I don't know what you call it. I call it a posturing shot. So it's firing a shot that they know there's not going to hit, and it's a radar shot, but what it does do is give a radar warning to these guys. So what it does is it upsets these guys. So they were nicely on their mission to do whatever they were doing. They've suddenly got a radar warning from a hostile missile. They don't know where the missile is. It's not a threat, but for all they know, it's a threat. It could be right here for all they know. And so what they're going to do now is start manoeuvring and turning and burning off speed and losing their mission, putting flares out even. They might panic, which will make them visible. So sometimes a posturing shot can be a good thing for this guy to do. Maybe he's actually a really good flyer and he decided, right, I'm never going to catch him up. Let's put this shot out just to shake them up a bit, and then I'll catch them up and kill them. Let's see. So running that forward. I mean, they're fast missiles. ERs are there, over 2,000 knots that was, but obviously still, that will be dead before it hits kind of there. Ah, right. They're not falling for it. They've found their prey. Their prey is Blasty, who is the worst vegan pilot I've ever seen. And he's just going to run in and get shot, obviously. That missile, you can see now, it's out of bandage, it's dead. Okay, another missile out. Okay, it's an ET, so let's have a look at that. An ET is a good missile, is what I call a kill missile, because you get no warning it's coming out. In fact, the Mirages may actually get a warning from IR missiles, but if that's true, it's only when it's right next to them. It won't be out here. It's a flanking shot. The hostile is flanking at 12 miles. Still extremely ambitious. I wouldn't do anything like that in an F-15. So the only way of getting a kill shot here is if this Mirage turns around and flies into it. So essentially another wasted shot. And it can't be a posturing shot because it's an ET missile. So anyway, let's see what's going on. Okay, Blasty's dead, obviously. Aiko, the good thing is he's high and he's fast. He's 750 knots. I didn't even know a flanker could go that fast. Loaded, so at least he's got energy on his side. And you never know, one of these guys might turn into that missile. No, obviously they're not, because they're experienced guys. Raptor and Oderosa, two of our most experienced guys. So they're doing what they're still getting radar warnings from this, but Raptor's not falling for it. Or is this going for Raptor? Oh, this could be an upset. So like I said there, the only way this could get a kill is if someone turned into it, and someone did turn into it, but it was dead. Look, it was 480 knots, it was a dead missile by then, so there you go. Now, this is more like it. An ET fired at, what's that, 6 miles? This is a proper shot. Actually, he might be firing at this guy, in which case it's a stupid shot. It's probably going to be a stupid shot. It is a stupid shot. Though, he is turning into it. So this is the beauty of the ET. This guy gets no warning that that ET's there. He has to either see the smoke trail with his eyes, which is hard to do, so it can be a nice little stealth missile. So it could be a kill. It could be a kill. Now Raptor's done extremely well. He's spotted this target. Now look how high. Well, it's fairly high. Either way, bear in mind he was so low. He's had his radar antenna aimed up, and he's found him. So it's good flying. And it's going to be obviously a close range kill. Lovely little sidewindery missile in there. Pow. And this is a self-guiding missile, the CT, so he could still get the kill. If Oderosa doesn't see it, and he doesn't appear to have seen it, look at that. That just shows, what do I know? Experienced flyer just flew straight into it, didn't see the trail, didn't get a warning, and flew into it. So it shows the power of those ETs. Even experienced players can just fly straight into them for no reason. Anyway, stuff is occurring here. Signori was firing. Let's analyse those shots. Well, now that is ambitious. So Signori is firing from miles away. Let's see if we can get a look on him. So yeah, so Signori is firing from 18 miles at a flanking ICO. So obviously there's no way that shot could have hit. No, 16 miles. 16 miles. Again, really ambitious. But again, he might not be doing it for a kill shot. He might know that these guys have got trouble from him, and so he's just firing in to distract him. So that's more likely what he's doing. He's just launching these missiles just to put this guy off, essentially. As you know, they can't possibly win because look, they're burnt out already trying to catch this flanking target up. Anyway, it didn't have any effect on the outcome, so we'll carry on. Let's see what happens next. We've got Trash. Bless him, Trash. He's a devoted follower of Blood and tries to use the Vigan just like Blood tells him to, or the Vigan's supposed to be used, but in this kind of scenario it's completely pointless. Reason being that there's A, so much cap cover, and B, there are GTIs, so the Vigan relies on using terrain to hide from the radar, but this is just an open map, so flying Vigan missions in this is pointless, especially when there's high cap cover. So he was just target practice for the whole match, unfortunately. So hopefully that's something to learn by for the particular matches that we do. He's managed to fly by them because he's so fast and so low, but they will find him. They're not finding him with their eyes or radar, but they're finding it with the GCI calls. They're saying there's a guy on your 3 o'clock, this height, and it's a one-way game from here. R-73 is pretty much unbeatable missile, and pow, dead. Okay, some great fights so far. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's just have a quick round, see what's going on. Oh, events are occurring. So we've got Sonic, who's an excellent seed fighter, probably our best seed guy, apart from maybe Spider. He's fired a missile at an SA-6. He's got a little bit close for my liking. You've got SA-6 missiles coming out, but that's going to be a shack. Pow, that missile, that SAM site is now dead because he's hit the radar. The missiles have died. Well done, Sonic. And that's a really good tactical thing to do. If they had sent a bunch of Frogfoots out like that, they could have wiped out this and that SAM, and then the whole map is essentially theirs, apart from the base. What stuff's going on here? Oh dear, this is going to be embarrassing for the flanker, I believe. So, Signore has done his thing of spinning around in circles. No, he's not. He was just killing the bad guy. Let's carry on. And then he's been vectored to kill this A10 here. That's about 8-ish miles now, so he should have easily found them. Maybe the reason he didn't find them was that he was looking on his IR. He was looking for an IR signature. Very hard to find IR signatures with A10s because they don't leave a lot of IR. Yep, no, sorry, he fired a radar missile. He just left it too late. He hasn't got a warning from these sidewinders, so he doesn't see they've been fired, and they're smokeless as I remember. So he will probably get the hit, but he's going to get hit. Oh no, really well dodged by Coffee there. He saw that missile coming in, dodged it. Really good. Yeah, I mean 9 times out of 10 those A10s wouldn't have been firing missiles because they wouldn't have seen him, but because we've got Coffee leading there, he saw him, got the shot off, so it's a bit embarrassing for Signore, but there you go, well done A10 team, and you've got LO backing him up, so it's always nice to have a wingman. Very good stuff. Good use of the A10 there. I mean, it's obviously not designed really to do that, but it can defend itself. What they'll do now is they'll go back and hide in the SA-6s until they get notification that the red cap is gone. Right, let's scroll it forward now. Okay, I wonder forward to here. Stuff is happening, and SA-6 is just flying out into no man's land. I don't know why. Oh no, it's an SU-25. It's Sonic again. Sonic doing his good work. He's about to put this SA-6 out of action. This is the kind of thing that can win the war. You put that SA-6 out of action, all of this land effectively becomes Reds because there's no more SAM defense. So that's great work. Even if he has to get shot down, and he hasn't, he survives as well. But even if he got shot down, that's still a good use of that aeroplane. Take out that SAM site. Okay, so let's scroll that forward a bit. Okay, so Curious Dragon, what he did is he came in here, bombed a load of these blue tanks, great use of a thing, but then he charged into the enemy territory, which is a bit silly. Easier said than done, but I would have liked to have come in, pow, done the attack, and this is like what I was saying earlier with the cap, do the attack, then fly back to security, then come back in and do attack, then fly back to security. Don't come in and do the attack and then fly into the enemy territory. Well, only one thing could possibly happen, and that is that you get shot down. So that's exactly what's going to happen here, I'm sure. So again, things to learn there. Go against your instinct and do the attack and then fly back home, because it doesn't give the chance for the enemy to come and shoot you down, basically, and you can just keep attacking until you're out of weapons. So it's wasted a lot of time and another plane, and it was obviously an easy kill for this guy. You just, you know, it's an obvious kill. A10's still waiting for their chance to do their thing. Sonic's missile's about to hit. It's almost out of energy, but it's going to hit. And pow! Another SA-6 site out of action. So that was a game-winning move by Sonic there. So watch that and learn from that, everyone. And he didn't even need to get close. He fired from there. Look, that's what, 40 miles maybe he fired from. And once that missile was out, there's nothing they could do. Anyway, events are occurring over here. Let's have a look. Okay, Zoidberg. I like the look of Zoidberg. The good thing about doing this is you get to see who's good and who's crap. And I'm liking the look of Zoidberg. He did well killing in the Mirage. See, there's Mirage versus a flanker. Mirage doesn't really have any right to win this fight. The flankers, you know, has twice or 3 times the amount of weapons, and they're better weapons, and blah 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 blah. So Squiddle has no excuse to lose. But let's analyse. Stand by. Okay, this is weird. They're 5 miles apart and they haven't shot at each other. That's weird. I don't know why they're being so weird, but they are. So let's roll that back a bit. So let's see what we've got. Squiddle obviously knows he's there. He's flying straight towards him. Angel, what is that? Angel's, hang on, my brain's gone. That's Angel's 14, isn't it? No, that's on the deck. That's what Angel's 1. For some reason he's not firing. I don't know why he's not firing. He's fast and he's low. This guy's fast. Mirror him perfectly. Same speed, same altitude. Both on the deck. So Squiddle should be firing missiles, but he's not. He's just running straight into him. So I don't know what that's all about. Just didn't fire. And Zoidberg took a shot, you know, down here. He only needs to fire 6 to 7 miles, like I said. He's waited until 4. That's fine. It's a definite kill shot at that range. Nothing Squiddle can do to avoid at that range. Missile burner's still on, so that was just crap by Squiddle, really. He just didn't fire. Maybe he doesn't use the flanker a lot, something like that. I imagine that's what it is. Of course, he's an experienced guy. Stuff's going on around here as well. Charles coming in at 21. Cadron in F5. Got told that this guy was here. Turned around, didn't see him. And to be fair, this is a hard plane to see, especially at 900 feet. Hasn't seen him and has just lost it. So I don't think there's anything to see there, really. We've now got SU-27 coming in. Now we don't know who the driver is. The driver is... It's not told us the driver for some reason, but he's up at Angel 16. He's flying right above Zoidberg. Zoidberg is now doing some good cleaning ops down here. Going to kill this helicopter. Poor old Gumbo didn't have a very good fight. Every time he's got off his helipad, someone come and shot him down. So probably shouldn't have used the helicopter as well. But there you go. SU-27 with no name is coming in. Angel's... He's diving. Should still start killing A-10s if he's got any sense, whoever he is. Come on, fire. What's the matter with you? Right on your nose, fire. Okay, new guy obviously is just... doesn't feel like firing. And he's crashed. Okay, what a numpty. Don't know who that was, didn't have a name, so never mind. Next fight, the Dream Team, Coffee and Elo are using that A-10s essentially to do the cap work because the blue guys aren't doing it very well. So they're chasing this F5 down, which is hilarious. F5's flying straight into them. And pause it there. Don't underestimate A-10s, A's or C's. They are formidable with their AIM-9 Mike missiles. They're really dangerous, even within kind of 8 miles. I've been shot down by plenty of them, and I'm sure I will get shot down more of them. So don't play with them. They can outturn probably an F5, and they've got better missiles than an AIM-9 Mike. Ergo, this is almost, you could say, a better dogfight at close range than this. at least until the energy has been burnt off. So, note, and this happened earlier on as well, if you're gonna tangle with A10s, swoop in, shoot them, then swoop out. Get a long way away, turn round, then come back in. Otherwise, to be honest, they're probably better than you and they'll probably shoot you down. Exactly what we've got here. He's come in, he's decided to tangle with these guys, close range, and there's not much you know, they are good, especially in a decent pilot's hand, they are lethal at close range, and you know, he didn't stand a chance there. So well done, Blues, for using your A10s really well there. I expect he called in, these A10s don't have IFF, so they didn't know that was hostile. They would have had to call in a declaration from the GCI, which I'm sure they did. Got the declaration, took the shot, bish bash bosh. Great work, Blues. Stuff's going on here. Basically, Blue has found an A10 and gotten his 6. It's Tony, poor old Tony. What a miserable day he had. He just kept getting shot down every time. Well, there's not much to say about that one. It saw him and shot him down before the A10 saw him. So, good work there. It's a good trade. Trade a MiG-21 for an A10 is a good thing to kill an A10 because an A10 can do a lot of damage. Anyway, I'm talking crap now. Let's carry on. Okay, we have fight. Poor old Zoidberg's all out on his own, but let's see how he handles himself under pressure. He's got mirages that were going the wrong way, but have been vectored by the GCI onto him. So it's gonna be a fight. Let's set it up. Right, Udderosa versus Zoidberg. Zoidberg is low and fast. Zoidberg is low and fast. Udderosa is Angels 10 and fast. Assuming they found each other, 9 miles. So if we interpolate that shooting distance at high energy, it's what, 8.25 miles or something? It should be a shot in my reckoning, but it's a mirage, so it might not apply. Shoot! Ah. There's been some confusion. Zoidberg's going for this guy. Zoidberg appears to be panicking now. He's just flying in between them. No one's seen each other. And that can happen when one guy's low and the other guy's high, because the radar beam is relatively narrow. Oh, stuff's going on here. Riddle! Riddle's a good guy, he knows what he's doing. Let's see that again. It looks like the radar's just there. This guy's radar's gone over the top of the blue, and this guy's radar's gone below the red, so they've just not seen each other, which happens. Udderosa has got a call from the GTI, which is why he's not. It's what's happened is Riddle's fired a missile, maybe 12 miles, a bit ambitious, but it's done its job and helping Zoidberg out at least. It won't get a kill. Udderosa's too experienced, it's easy going to dodge it. Assuming he knows where it is. It looks like he does. Look at that big 9G pull. Keep 600 knots. Perfect flying. So this is going to get scrubbed. This is going to get scrubbed. In the recoil's come and taken advantage of this, and he's shot at the F-15. ICO should now be covering recoil. ICO should get an easy kill on recoil. But he's not. He's just not doing anything. So this guy's inexperienced, obviously. He doesn't know what he's doing. Recoil is chasing the F-15. Now, Riddle's doing just exactly the right thing. He knows missiles are after him. He knows he can't turn round and fight in time. He knows this guy's going to be relatively close. If he's firing matches at him, he's probably within 10 miles. If he tries to turn around and get a snapshot, the Mirage will kill him. So he's doing exactly what he's supposed to, which is put your afterburners on, get as light as you can, and fly away. And you can beat the Mirage on speed. The Mirage is very fast, but you can still beat the Mirage on speed. So he's going to get 700 knots, fly away, and get someone to help you on the overlap. Unfortunately, all we've got is Trash here, who's not going to be much use. He's outrun the missiles, 700 knots, great. Now, Riddle, if you know that he's still locking you, don't turn around, fly to your SA-6, or a friend. So hopefully he's going to do that. His max is playing out at 700 knots. Let's just see what else has happened. Okay, Ico's doing stuff. Let's get back there. I don't know, that's an old AIM 120 obviously. Ico's seen something. Down low with him. It's going to fire. He's going to redeem himself and get a good kill. Signore has got the warning, but you're not dodging it at that range. At that range, that missile's too energy high, too manoeuvrable. Not much you can do. Also, we noticed that Signore there, what he should have done is turn one way, get the big 9G pull. That's what you should do. It's the best way of burning the energy off a missile. Don't just roll. He rolled, look. Look, that was he did a barrel roll, a small barrel roll. That burned no energy at all off that missile. It just looks cool. and he may possibly had a tiny chance if he'd done a 9G pull, but he's just barrel rolled into the missile. And I do that sometimes as well, because you panic. To another barrel roll, completely pointless, dead. Udarosa, experienced guy, just going to polish this guy off easy, so it's quite a big fire. Some of these tactics are quite complicated because there's so many players in. It makes things... All the tactics I talk about are really only relevant on 1 versus 1. When you've got multiple players on, the game changes and it gets really complicated. But we'll just talk about 1-on-1 tactics because it's easy. Okay, Riddle's done really well, although he's gone the wrong way. He should have gone towards that base. Maybe he is, maybe it's just our aspect. Now you can see, look at the speed differences. That F-15 is faster than that Mirage. Oh dear. So he's decided, I'm far enough away, I'm going to turn into fight. No, he's not. Yeah, he's decided to turn into fight. And it's always a dodgy decision because he just can't turn round quick enough to get a snapshot in. He knows the Mirage is chasing because the Mirage will have him locked. So just fly away until someone else kills that Mirage or you've into SSX. Hard to do because what you want to do is turn around and fight him, but Zoidberg's coming out and we'll probably end up saving the day, but see, look, he can't turn around in time. He's turn around now, but what, you know, he's 4 or 5 miles, he can never acquire a lock in time. For some reason recoil's not firing, but F-15 should be dead by now. We zam! Merge. Now he's got himself into a dogfight with a guy with a much more manoeuvrable plane. No, he hasn't. He's just running away. Okay. So what he's done is he's turned round, somehow survived, and he's just running away this way. It's actually not a bad idea now. And, oh, that was interesting. Let's look at that, shall we? So Zoidberg's coming in. He's going to take a shot at, what is that, 4 miles? 3 miles now? It's a good time to take a shot. I mean, the guy is flanking, but Heatseeker should still get him. Yeah, that's a good time to take a shot. We're just coming out at the end of his flank. Sent probably an IMSer out and just enough flares, and because he was turning hot onto him and to fool the missile. So good show. And merge. Dogfight. Same plane versus same plane. And look at that. They're starting at the same height and exactly the same speed. So it's fair. It's a fair fight. Go. So what they want to do is keep their speed high. I mean, I'm not a Mirage guy, but if it was an F-15, I'd want to keep my speed high. And they've both done exactly that. Perfect. So let's look. Why has Zoidberg won this? Let's go back a little bit. So there's no advantage here. They've merged at pretty much the same angle. Zoidberg goes high. They both go high. No, Zoidberg goes higher. So the best way to turn quickly, if you need to turn quickly, and this is what you need to do, they need to turn quickly, is to yo-yo up high. It's the most efficient way of turning fast if you're not dodging a missile or something. And so this recoil stayed relatively low at Angels 4. He's done a bit of one. This guy's gone higher, which means he's going to turn slightly quicker, I think. And he is, pow. So basically, for the same amount of time elapsed, this guy has covered, because he's gone high, he's covered slightly more range, and so effectively he comes out on this guy's 6. No, I've said that the wrong way around. Stand by. Let me try that again. I said that wrong. He hasn't covered more range. Cap doesn't know. You guys will have to correct me here. He's just turned tighter. He's burned off a bit more speed by going high, and he's managed to slow down. Ah, right, yeah, okay. Brain's working a bit better now. I guess it's acted as a bit of a brake, and it's put him slightly behind him. I'll need some help on that one. And it's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I could watch that move all day. One more time. So that's something for me to learn from. They've got the merge. One's gone high. Loses slightly more speed. Keeps an eye on this guy all the time. And can roll in behind him. Very nice. And that's the end of the match, really. He's perfectly on his 6. In one tiny move. Very nice. I guess recoil wasn't pulling hard enough there. Let's look at their G-forces, shall we? Because that's always fun to do. So, pause. Blue is... Lost it. Blue is at 7G. Red is at 6G. Effectively the same. Tiny bit more blue. So it's 8G now. So Blue's pulled a little more G. He's gone up. He's yo-yoed up. And it's allowed him to get on a 6. Great move. Cool. Okay, anyway, let's watch that through now. I guess it's game over now. He's half a mile behind him. Far as Sidewinder and we're done. Recall realised the error. The hostile's behind him. What's he going to do? He should be a dead man. Just like we're going in for guns. The guy behind has managed to conserve his energy a lot better. Look, in Recall's panic, he's burnt his energy off. He's just pulled snapped slightly too hard, a little bit too much bat stick, and he's down to 500 knots, which is still perfectly within, you know, it's good energy. But when you've got a guy behind you that's going even faster and conserving energy, I guess, look, the red had that bulge there and that correction, which burnt off his energy. The blue just had the one turn. So this is a more inefficient route, therefore he's slowed up, which you don't want to do when you're in front, unless you're doing a brake check. And now he's in a world of pain. Unless he can make Blue overshoot. And that should have been Blue's kill, he just didn't get guns on target. So, amazingly, we've reversed now. So Recall's got to take advantage of this. He's not, though, he's exiting the fight. And look at that stall turn. 50 knots. I know that's probably not airspeed, but that is essentially a stall turn. Let's watch that again. So this guy wants to brake as hard as he can, so he's pulled all of his backstick, brakes out, gear out, whatever he's had to do to stop his airplane. It's very hard to shoot for someone when they do that because they're so slow. If you're not in a really good position, so 60 knots, turns it on a dime. Look how quickly he's changed aspect there, almost a cobra. Really good flying there. Recall's done exactly the same thing. He didn't quite go down to the speed, but well, he's certainly slowed up. But Recall's just lost situational awareness. He's lost him again. So he's struggling to see him for some reason. Blue is now, he's dived down, he's starting to get his energy back. Look how quickly Blue reacquires red. So he's really good visually, and visuals are extremely important when you're in a fight like this. It's all about constantly keeping your eye on the target. Really hard to do, but that's how it is. Okay, well, they've both appear to have lost each other now. And Recall is in internet's lost connection. That's the end of that fight. Awesome dogfight. Well done, Blue. Cool. That took so long, we've probably lost loads of stuff. Okay, so while all that was going on, events were indeed occurring. Let's have a look at this, shall we? It's a cool little fight from Riddle, and so let's analyse this. Riddle's extremely energy high, that's nice, and extremely low. Mirage is at 10,000 feet, relatively energy high. So let's interpolate that. That is a 7.75 miles shot or something. Just under 8 miles should be the kill from the F-15. And probably relatively the same for the Mirage. Slightly too far ahead. He's fired at 10 miles. That's what I'll be doing up at Angels 20. So it's slightly too far ahead for me. Maybe he'll get the kill. We'll see. So it's gone Pitbull. Raptor's got the warning. I do expect Raptor to dodge this. It hasn't had a chance to get high energy the same because it's down so low. It's already been burnt off, and I expect him to dodge that. And Raptor's doing everything he did. He did his 9G pull near enough. Did his countermeasures, and that's probably beaten. He's turned back into it. No, the missile's beaten. Well done. However, Riddle has put Sidewinder out at 2 miles, which is definitely a kill shot, unless Raptor can do something amazing. And Raptor has done something amazing. He's just done... Actually, I don't know how he's beaten it. Let's try that again. I think that was a perfectly acceptable shot from Riddle. 2 miles, somewhere between flanking and hot. He should have flown straight into that missile. But it missed, I guess. Enough countermeasures, enough turn. Let's go and look at what kind of G's he's pulling there. He really wants to be 8 or 9. This is Raptor. Can't quite get it in the position I want there. I want it a little bit further back when that missile was fired. Where was the missile fired? Let's have a look at this. 4 Gs, 5 Gs, missiles out, 6 Gs. No, so he's not even pulling 9, he's around at 6. Okay, don't know why the missile got beaten, it just did. So there you go. And that's going to be a merge. and merged. Another aim slightly too close there, I guess. Missiles can only function at a certain range. That is less than a mile. It just didn't give the Sidewinder. It was fired half a mile. It didn't, or a third of a mile. Just didn't give it enough chance to do its thing. So that's unfortunately a little bit of a waste, but it was worth a snapshot. So Raptors dodged those missiles amazingly. One thing to note is all of those countermeasures, flares and chaff Raptor put out. That must have been what did the job. Now it's a turn fight. And sorry, let's go back. I was chatting over that. So into the fight, we've got Riddle. I don't know why he's burnt so much energy off. He's slowed down. Probably, well, I don't know why he's just done it. Look, oh dear. So look how much energy Riddle's burnt off. He wants to get that turn done as quickly and he's yo-yoing up high. But the one thing I don't like about it is how much speed he's burning off. It may end up biting him in the ass. And this plane burns off speed like anything. F-15, if you put any alpha into it, and he's over 20 degrees alpha, and he's going up, and he's just burning his speed off. Saying that, Raptor's done pretty much the same thing. Raptor's managed to get speed back, so let's look at the difference now. Raptor's right down at 200 knots, so you're nearly on the stall. You're starting to lose control of the aircraft, and at this point his turn rate, i.e. the rate at which he can turn round in degrees, is quite low, down at 210 knots, as opposed to a Mirage at 450 knots, which is optimal. Now I notice Riddle's gone high, Raptor's gone low. That is really purely because of the aspect they were at when they joined the merge, so neither of them really had a choice that they were doing. It looks like I put my money on the Mirage getting the shooting aspect first. Maybe I'm wrong, we'll see. I just think the Mirage is in a slightly better place here. The Mirage isn't turning anymore. Yes it is, sorry. Aimed Alpha 20. Eagle is Alpha 26 now, so it's really going to start burning speed off now. Okay, he's now got Eagle's got rid of his alpha. He can start building speed again, but he's had to straighten out to do that. So the problem is the F-15 ran out of speed there, and so he couldn't pull back on the stick anymore because that was him stalling. So he had to unload the stick, unload the alpha. So he's unload the alpha, unload the G, and this is to get his energy back. He knows he needs to get his speed up. Problem is, he's no longer in the fight doing this. He's flying forwards. He can no longer turn at Raptor. So, Raptor, however, is kept at optimal speed above 400 knots. He can turn all day long. It's just superior flying, and also the Mirage is much better suited to this, I think. It can handle its alpha a little better. Also, he has a bit of advantage because he's gone down, I guess, to keep his speed. And look at that. That was a one-way contest from here. This guy, because Riddle had to unload, he can probably just about start flying again now, back at 400 knots. And by this time, unfortunately, the Mirage has got him in his sights, and he's on his 6th. And there's not little you can do at this phase. Obviously, with the hindsight of having TAC view up, we can see my bet would be for F-15 now. Burners on, probably drop your weapons and just fly away. You can outspeed a Mirage, especially when it's got a disadvantage from the start. So fly away, Riddle. Let's see you do that. It's up to 600 knots. He's right, yep. So he's had no choice. The Raptor's put a missile on him, probably radar guided. This guy's putting out. I'm guessing that's chaff. It's 1.6 miles. There's nothing Riddle can do to beat that. It's an energy high missile. It's game over. It's still accelerating. And pow. So great flying. Okay, well he survived somehow, but he's obviously going to get killed now. It was the F-15 just going up too high, burning off, turning too tight, burnt his energy off, and once your energy off, I know I go on about this every time, once you've lost your energy in a dogfight, you can be as skilled as Riddle, but that's the end. There's nothing you can do. Your aeroplane is then dead until you've gone down and built up more energy. Meanwhile, the hostile can just stay energy high, and obviously, yeah, that's Riddle dead. Great example of a dogfight there, of one guy doing it exactly right, not pulling too hard back on the stick. The other guy pulled too hard back on the stick, but it was energy off. Really easy to do, pulling too hard back on the stick. But it's energy off. So, lovely. Look at that, a Sidewinder's finally coming down from space. I wonder how high it went. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, let's carry on. Raptor back straight in after his superiority. He's back in the fight again against Zoidberg, who is an experienced guy that set this up. Okay, right back into the fray. So immediately Raptor's been GCI'd to this target here, Zoidberg, so let's analyse. Angels 8, 600 knots. Angels 1, 700 knots. So pretty equal energy, I'd call that. So we're going to have to do our maths, interpolate. What's the ideal firing range? So that's 7.5 to 8 miles, something like that. Probably about the same for the Mirage. So they're both doing good so far. No point firing at the moment, and now it's good to fire. And maybe they haven't acquired each other. Like I said, when one guy's relatively high, one guy's relatively low, it's very hard to see each other with the radar unless you know they're down there to aim your radar down. So both of them equally have not seen each other. Oh, hello. The Raptor's very good at this. He's good at spotting the enemy before the enemy spots them, and that is a key with a BVR entering visual range. I guess this is a visual range contest now, but he's just seen the enemy. He's detected him. Joker does this particularly well as well. So let's run this through. So he's snapped over. Identified the target. Zoidberg, poor Zoidberg, had no idea. He was lovely and fast, look, but had no idea it was coming. Probably an iron missile. Probably didn't even get a warning in time. And that missile's so fast. Pow. End of the game. Great work from Raptor. Raptor, if he's got sense, which he has, he'll go back on RTV and get his new missiles. It's tempting when you've had a fight and you're low on missiles to carry on fighting. It's a much better use of a plane, especially when you have finite planes like this, to go home and get more missiles. That's a superior use of your aeroplane. Anyway, events are occurring down here. Tender's got himself into trouble again. How did he do this? It looks like it's going to be another great dogfight. There's so many dogfights to analyse in this. It's great. Right. Tender's really bad at finding hostiles. I don't know why. Must have bad eyes or something. He has, however, found a hostile here. So we better go and set this up. Both down on the ground, both energy high. So ideal firing, 6 to 7 miles. When hot, and that's bang on what he's done. Look, 7 miles, that's a kill shot. Uderosa's got to work 9G to beat this. Let's intercept that. Let's get back a bit. So let's check red G loading, 7, 8. 8.5, 9. So he's had to do his 9G pull to beat this missile, which is great work. He's done that very well. Kept his speed, 600 knots, really well done. He's managed to beat the missile also because he's low. That really helps beat missiles when you're low. Well done. And he realises that he'd beaten the missile. If that was me, I would have just ran away. But he realised he'd beaten the missile, and he's turned immediately to find Tender, which is great stuff. I couldn't do that. And this is a one-way contest. He's on the back of the... Well, I don't know. We'll see. But look, he's essentially on his 6 and 3 miles. He's going to shoot Sidewinder, Heater. Come on, get it over and done with. You don't need to wait. He's just waiting for his ideal shot. But that's an ideal shot there. 2 miles. Wants to get close, wants to make sure of it. He knows this Mirage, there's nowhere to go. He's facing into red territory. Both 700 knots nearly. Tender turns. Tender doesn't really know what's going on, I think. And come on, missile. What's going on? Missile. So he waited until he waited until he was sure that he was going to get the kill. 1 mile. There's no discrepancy at that point. So kill. Pow! And it's hit. And Tender has the gods with him. So he's carrying on flying. So now it gets interesting. So I'm presuming now that Uderosa is out of weapons. Let's see this fight. Okay. So Tender's doing well so far. He's doing what he's been told to do, which is keep his energy high. Even when he's panicking with the guy behind him, even when he's getting shot. Keep your 600 knots if possible. Keep low. So he's doing well. He's not making himself a particularly easy target. If he panicked and gone high, then that would be game over. So he's still doing well. He's keeping low. See the G-forces? Yep. That's... Red's got a little more G, 6 Gs to 4 Gs of... So Red's trying to turn inside him. And this Mirage handles high G fast turns really well. It's really hard to scrub energy off by the looks of things. Okay, Squiddles come in for a shot. Pow, missed. They're not the best missiles in the world, especially from the front. So again, a little lucky from Tender. And Squiddle is merge. Tender's 700 knots, going really fast. Don't panic, keep going, you can still get out of this. And what Tender doesn't know is that these guys are probably Winchester by this point, hence why they're not blowing them out of the sky. But he doesn't know that, so he thinks that he's a dead man. One slight criticism is he's flying to the reds. Ideally, he should be flying into the blues. That's hard to do when you're, you know, being chased and stuff, but missile going out. He probably wouldn't have got a warning. No, he wouldn't have got a warning because that was an IR missile, and it's a hit, and he's somehow survived again. Really lucky. These guys are definitely Winchester now. Right, he's lost a tiny bit of energy, but it's good. He's still high energy. This is good. The Mirage is retaining its energy even better. You see, that's a real smooth turn compared to the red, blue, slightly harder turn. So everyone's doing everything pretty well so far, I'd say, but let's carry on. Oh, Tender's panic. He just fired a missile. Oh no, he fired a missile at this guy. So somehow, even being chased, he's managed to track and shoot this guy. That's pretty cool. Some countermeasures out. One small criticism is that he's burning off speed while the Mirage isn't burning off speed. Mirage really seems to like these big turns. Let's check the alpha differences. Yeah, Blue's got slightly higher alpha in that F15 look. 12 degrees to 10 degrees on the red, so that's making a difference. And F15s hate any kind of alpha. And the same thing keeps going, he's turning, but again he's just burning a little more speed off. He's burnt a lot of speed off now. He did something. It's still 600 knots, so it's still not too bad. This wingman has had the chance to stay back and get the lead and get a good lead. Oh look, he shot the MiG-21 down. So even in that big fight, he managed to get a lock on that guy and shoot him down. That's pretty awesome. This guy's getting better, and that's just a panic shot, nothing. He's in real trouble now because the hostiles have got too close, but it's still not game over. Tender's starting to get down to 500 knots now. Guns everywhere. He's doing enough rolling. You can see barrel rolling is helping him now. Barrel rolling is not much good for missiles, but it's good for guns. It's very hard to shoot some of this barrel rolling. And he's done a brake check. Look at that. He must have put his brake out or something because the Mirage flew straight by. Let's see. I don't suppose we can see what it's done. There. That was it. It was a... Let's go back just a smidgen more. Look at Blue's alpha compared to red. He did a massive snap pull up to 22 degrees alpha, which is essentially the max flying alpha of a F15, and it's burnt all of his speed off, or most of it, and the Mirage, which struggled to slow down as fast, has come by. So what he's doing is going up high and wide, and that's, well no, he's beaten the Mirage there. Mirage is beaten, well done. The Mirage is struggling, so as we saw in that previous fight, the Mirage, to compensate for this, is yo-yoed up high, which seems to be the best thing to do when you want to lose speed. So that's something I need to learn to do then. Go up high to lose speed, make sure you don't lose tally on the hostile. Tender's unlucky because he could have almost won this, except he's got another guy on his back, so... and Tender's hit, but he's still going. He's struggling now to get speed back into the F15. It's a hard thing to do. You've got to go straight. So he's starting to ease off the turns now, which is good. Alpha's no, it's too high. It's going up 17. The F15 can just handle 17. So Mirage is back on his case now. We're starting to lose energy now. That's 22 to 23, 24 degrees alpha. That's more than the F15 can cope with. And he's going up, and speed is going down, 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 down. As we know, once you've lost your speed in an F15, it's game over. He beat the Mirage again, look. That's good flying. He's almost beaten the F5, which is very hard to do. But now he's at stall. Too much alpha. We've loaded that F15 up too much. Let's scroll back, I saw there. It's up to 26 degrees, I saw there. 27 degrees there. It's just too loaded, and it's flying. It's big. The bottom side of its wing is into the air, and it's losing all of its energy. You can see it there. It's struggling, and it's easy for me to say unload it. However, when you're in a weird corkscrew at not particularly high altitude, F15 doesn't like to unload the alpha very well. It's a very hard. It takes a while to do it. So he's really going to struggle. The annoying thing is he doesn't know how good a situation he is. Look, the Mirage is essentially disengaged, lost tally by the looks of it. The F5 struggling a bit. It'd be lovely to straighten out now, and because he can outrun these guys, especially if he loses his weapons. Head towards blue and go. But no, he's not unloading. It's 20 alpha still, not unloading. 25. 30 alpha, just panic now. 35 degrees alpha, all he's doing is yanking back on that stick and hoping for the best. 45 degrees alpha, and it's a stall. So he went all through this. He had his stick pulled fully back, and it was just scrubbing more and more speed off. Essentially, it would have been lovely to see him unload and just fly that way full burn, maybe with some long kinks. To allow him to just keep the guns off him, even if they could keep up. Love to have seen that, but he just run out of run out of confidence. He didn't think he could do it, as I remember. So it's sad, really. And so what he's doing is forcing himself into a stall turn fight with a Mirage and an F5. That's only ever going to come out one way. So there's nothing he can do now to get his energy back in this plane. It's all gone. It's all gone into vibrating the plane and heat on the wings and into the air. To get that energy from the engines back into the plane, it's going to take maybe 20 seconds or something. Oh, we're at half speed again. Twat. Sorry, I keep doing that. I wonder it's so slow. So it's trying now to get energy back, but I think it's too late. The Mirage, look how high. The Mirage missed again. Brilliant. But the F5 is incredibly manoeuvrable aircraft, and it doesn't burn off speed as quickly as this does. And it's really good, especially when it's clean. When the F5 is clean, the F5 is the 15 is struggling. He's loaded it up again. Look, 30 degrees, panicking. You don't need to do that much turning to avoid being shot by guns. This is guns I'm talking about. It's stalled. 160 knots is stalled, and that's finally the end of it. Great entertainment for us. Would have loved to have seen him straighten that out and have the confidence to straighten it out and fly towards the blue SAMs. It would have been great. Great fight. Something called robot over here. Wonder what that is. Oh, it's our good friend Blasty again. So what Blasty's done, instead of using our match to fly his aeroplane well, he's just flying in random places and firing missiles at random places. So we're going to have a word with him. I keep forgetting. Signora's seen that missile and thought that was a hostile by the looks of it. Okay, so the big planes are all gone. The F-15s are all gone. We've got Mirages and F-5s now, which is pretty cool. SA-6s are coming out for this guy, Cadron, who I think is a newbie. Hasn't got, and I'm guilty of this, hasn't got his RWR set up to detect missiles, so he'll probably fly straight into them. No, he hasn't. No, he beat them, so fair play. Went down low and scrubbed the missiles. Ran them into the ground. So events are definitely going to occur here. He's flying right into the blue base. There is someone firing there. Riddle in a flanker. And he's not very good with a flanker. But he has seen the enemy and he is firing at the enemy. So it's a long shot, hopeful shot, and it's not going to hit. Oh dearie me. What have we got here, Mr. Gonzalo? Elos are probably, at least on PvP, is our worst team killer, and he has just shot at a hostile friendly Mirage and killed a friendly Mirage. So why did he do that? Well, he just saw something flying. He probably got a notification that there's a hostile F5 in the area, and he spotted a F5, and he thought, right, that's F5, let's kill it. And it's a fair assumptions to make, because how many F5s can there be in the area? On this time it worked out there was a hostile, and we've been through the training on this. You don't fire until 100% sure it's a hostile. So textbook, what he should have done is called into the GCI, if there was one, hopefully there was, declared on my nose there's a F5, is this the hostile F5? But instead he didn't make the call, he made the assumption, I assume, I don't think there was a call. And look what happens when you do that. It's a team kill, so that's very unfortunate. Luckily that was the only team kill of the match, so I'm happy with that. And bearing in mind how frantic these engagements are. They're more frantic and plentiful than any real life combat. So it's good to see that improvement. So stuff's going on. Now this F5 can manoeuvre quite slow. It's down at kind of 3, maybe a little bit slow now, but it's a very manoeuvrable plane. I'm not sure what he's doing. Okay, he's going after the... Hello? Oh, big EUR out from Riddle, and that's a kill shot. Pow. Saved Elo's ass. Well done. I just saw a KH missile out from Sonic, so he's doing his magic again, hopefully killing the SA-6. So what Sonic's done is he's allowed his Reds, he's killed the SAM sites, he's allowed his Reds to come and occupy this area. So tactically that's the best thing that's happened so far, maybe with the AWACS. So it's all good stuff. These guys are dogfighting, but I'm not going to follow it because one guy hasn't got weapons. So it's not really a thing to watch. It looks pretty cool though. Odge has found this... Odge doesn't appear to be very good. He, I think he just flies straight past this guy. He does. Doesn't like firing. He must be a pacifist. Didn't want to fire. So, okay. Noted. Wow, Blasty's doing something. This is shock and awe. I don't think much is going to happen. That's a shame. Signal. Oh no, never mind. No, it's okay. It doesn't matter. In fact, did Blasty actually kill him? No, of course not. No, just ran into the ground. Lovely. Okay, fair enough. And Sonic's missile is nearly killed. Sonic has ran himself into Sam's. Now this is a bit unusual. On that, Sonic does have a radar warning system telling him those missiles are after him. So he should know well that those missiles are after him, and they haven't been beaten. So he's made the bad assumption that he's beaten them, or maybe they were something to do with this plane. Rather than look at that guy. That guy's just crashed. That guy, what the? Okay, fair enough. Whatever. I shouldn't deter people from joining. Anyone's welcome. He just flies straight into them. That's unexpected from an experienced guy. He's been hit at the end of him. But like I said earlier, he got his missile off first. So even if he dies now, it's really not the end of the world. He's done his job basically. In fact, there was nothing really left for him to kill after that. And that's going to go in. That's going to nail the SA-6, and that has nailed all of the blue SAMs basically, and finished them off. Very good. Right, we've got to speed up now because this is going to take forever. Okay, we've got Tony Z in a SU-25 firing another SU-25. Well done, Tony. That's a good use of you. Riddle is going to nail him. I mean, there's not much to say. Obviously, he's flown into Riddle, and Riddle has come to nail him. That's obviously Tony doesn't have a radar, so he doesn't know Riddle's here, and that's a one-way shot. So Tony is dead. However, his legacy is that he's fired these seed missiles off, and that is the EWR for the Blues. That's a very important piece of blue kit for spotting hostiles, and pow, he's got it. So his life was fully worth it. And another one going to kill another SAM battery. Look, killed another SAM battery. Well done, Tony. Excellent work. It's ugly work in the SU-25, but it's work that has to be done. Recoil has been not having a good day, to be fair. Let's see if it gets any better. He's phoning some baddies. He should have shot them all by now, but he hasn't. But yeah, shot, and Coffee is dead. Or nearly. Tender has taken up his little glider plane. I don't know anything about that L-39, but we'll soon see. Recoil needs to slow down now to get behind this A-10. It always worries me getting in a dogfight with an A-10. It can probably turn, at least to begin with, tighter than a Mirage. My preferred thing against an A-10, hit and run, hit it, get out, come back in. Much safer. Especially when you've got other planes around. Speed that up. So he's got Tender chasing him now. Oh, hello. Did a lovely shot on that F5 there with a IR missile. Well done, Recoil. Let's keep following it. Tender is having problems with his missiles. I imagine he would have fired. Oh, look at that. And that shows the danger of dicing with an A-10. Look how quickly it turned. Look at that turn. And Recoil is rightly killed. So great things to learn there. Don't, especially with experienced pilots like Elo and Coffee, they will shoot you down. Look at that. That AIM-9 Mike's a really good missile. Oh, he survived. Okay, he had no right to survive that, really. What happens next? Miss what happens next. Okay, Coffee, I think, just crashed, generally. and hang on, no, I lost what happened there. Let's try that again. A10 has 130 knots and stalling. Mirage has shot at another A10, and yeah, I think Coffee just ran out of luck there, run out of aeroplane. No, robot shot by Blasty. 6 robots being shot by Blasty. What the fuck? That's very embarrassing. Anyway, Recoil has cancelled his missile. I don't know where it ended up. Look, got too close to an A10. That A10's going to get him. Look at that power of that A10 missile, and that is bang, game over. He diced with those A10s for too long, and that's exactly what happened. So, good thing to learn there. Even the Mirage, a fighter as good as a Mirage, is going to struggle in there with the A10s. So that's a good thing to learn. Signore is back with his missiles working. And he is... Tender didn't see him. He's coming in energy high as 700 knots. He's somehow got to slow down now to get to merge with this guy. Don't know why he hasn't fired his missile. I guess he's still struggling. So he's done a massive overshoot here. He's going to have to yo-yo high, as we're learning as our new tactic. If you're overspeeding, Squid's coming in as well. No, sorry. Signore was looking at this guy. Pow! He's got the kill. Very nice work. So this is the proper way to use the MiG-21. It's hit and run. Come in fast. Take the shot. Well, he's supposed to run away at that point and then come in again. Instead, he wants to dogfight. Dogfight with MiG-21, because of the super high wing loading, is just a bad idea all round. But he wants to do it. Squills come in, and being an idiot, just not fired for some reason. So that was a bit silly. And I think he's just realised his mistake with that correction. Signore sees probably the A10 is survived and is going to go and kill him. That's not 60, that's a kill. Small criticism that A10 wasn't flaring, but it was very hard for him to do anything. Because Squiddle's overshot, Tender has now got on his backside. Now that's not a powerful aeroplane, so he's going to struggle to catch an afterburn. Oh my god. Oh, he was lucky. Lovely shooting by Tender, bad luck. Very good dodging by Squiddle. You know, who's looking back, looking for the missile. It's 2-on-1 against a subsonic jet. It should only go one way, but look at the manoeuvrability. Look how high that can turn and keep increasing energy. It's a pretty formidable little thing. But look at the speed difference. Afterburning jet, 400 knots. Non-afterburning jet, stuck down to 270 knots. 500 knots now, Squiddle. It's doing exactly what you should do. Don't bother trying to turn with it. Just put your afterburners on run. There's nothing this guy can do to catch up. And get your mate to come in and kill him. So that's pretty cool. Just get this one over and done with. Signore will obviously get the kill here, and that's the end of it. And somehow, my only explanation for that is that this has a relatively cool jet, and that was an IR missile, so it just never maybe got a particularly good lock, and so a tiny manoeuvre was enough to kill it. So that was interesting. It should have been a kill, really. I know they're not the best missiles in the world, but you know, that was should have been an easy kill, but I guess that's the reason. Tender's pretty much stalled himself out now, 150 knots. He's all out of engine power, unfortunately. Squiddle's coming back in. Hasn't seen him though. So Squiddle did the right thing. He just ran away until he knew it was safe, then came back in. But it's getting a bit ugly now. Let's have a look. Amazingly, Tender is still on the offensive. He's chasing... No, he's not now. Okay. It's got to be the end of it. Look at the size of the turns the MiG has to do to turn, which makes it really hard to get the solution, and he's not going to make it. He's not made it. It's too fast. It's a weird... these fights are really difficult when you've got such mishmash planes. A plane that likes to go really, really fast and certainly doesn't turn slow, and a plane that just goes really slow all the time and turns at any speed. Anyway, that was the end of that. It was only going to end one way. Well done to Tender surviving so long. Yeah, so they're two fast planes, these are. Right. Hopefully not too much more to go, because I've got the sorest throat in the world now. Okay, Squid and Riddle, the two team captains, the big face-off. So in they come, both energy high, both low, looking for each other. Riddle knows he's here, he knows Riddle's here. Let's run that forward. So Riddle just makes a whopping great mistake and doesn't see him. He should have easily picked him up. I don't see any reason why I couldn't have picked him up. There's no terrain to hide behind or anything, and he was nice and close. He's seen him now finally. Oh, I finally got a missile away. It's too late, and it's the wrong missile. It should have been a close range R73. Riddle doesn't really fly this plane, so that's why, obviously, but never mind. So, looks like they're both going. Riddle's yo-yoing high up to Angel's 8, and he's lost the ball. Now, one advantage of having a diddy little plane like this is it's very hard to see, whereas this is very easy to see. So, and it's worked in this case. Riddle has just lost tally on him, and that's easy to do. Whereas Squiddle really struggles to lose sight of a great big 25-ton Sukhoi. And he's fired, and he was kind of unlucky to get the miss there, especially when Riddle didn't countermeasure. So now we've got two very manoeuvrable planes. This, I actually don't know what has the better thruster weight. I'm guessing the Sukhoi. But due to the very first, a bit like the fight we looked at kind of a while ago, the first turn quite often decides the battle. So in this time, the first turn was what got the red guy on the blue guy's back. So that shows how important that first turn is and how you've got to plan it rather than just yanking back on the stick. So Squiddle is cutting inside of him. I mean, Riddle has done something. He's losing all his energy. Why has that happened? He may have been doing a brake check. Let's have a quickly go back. So Riddle, let's have a quick look. I'm just going to watch Riddle now. So Riddle's low alpha. So he's not pulling back on the stick. So what he's done is trying a brake check basically. He's we can't see it, but he's got his air brake out, probably maybe even his gear out, and he's trying to brake check the F5. And that's maybe not the worst thing to do. The F5 does have problems braking. It's very hard to brake in an F5, and it may even work. Look, it's down to 200 knots. But Squiddle's just done enough to stay behind. It's pretty good move for Squiddle. And Riddle is now up. I'm just going to check there. I was looking at the right numbers. Sorry. I'm looking at yes. So it's 500 knots down to 200 with no alpha. Yep, must have been what he was doing. Now he's realised it hasn't worked. Burner's on. Get your energy back, which you can do very fast because he's going down that very fast energy regain. However, Squiddle's done really well. He's stuck to him like glue, and it's hard to get rid of an F5. Even with F15, I've struggled to get rid of F5s on my rear. They are good planes, and I had to go. Well done, Squiddle. There's one in that first turn. I guess we could analyse on that. Oh, hang on, there's a fight going on. Didn't see where this guy came from. He's missed. Those missiles aren't the best. They can be dodged if you know they're coming. Squiddle's done. Looks like this guy stalled out. Look, when he took this, he probably done a snapshot, a snap pull to get that missile out, and it's allowed Squiddle to regain, keep his energy. Look at that nice curve, and all he needs to do is run away now. He's got the energy advantage. But this guy's got missile. It's failed again. Don't know why these missiles aren't working today. That's weird. That should have been a kill, really. If I was Squiddle, I would have run away, but I'm a chicken, so Squiddle wants to fight. Oh dear, Gunzello's coming out. Oh, I remember this. This goes on forever now. So it's two F5s, perfectly matched, both Winchester, and they're just going to chase after each other. I'm not sure there's a great deal to learn from this now. They just chase each other with guns, and no one can kill each other. That was a bit silly there from Squiddle. No, it was a brake check. It's a brake check. Yes, look at that, Cobra. It worked. Right. What a nice thing that was to see. It was a Cobra in a F5 or near as. Let's go and check the alpha out. So we're going to have to go and find Squiddle now. So they're both the same speed, 440 knots. Squiddle is yanked back on the stick there. It wasn't enough, so yanked again. 35 degrees alpha. So it was just a brake check, a fancy brake check, and that guy flies right by. Well done. This guy just didn't see it coming, couldn't brake in time, and the roles are reversed. So that's how easy it was him in this case to beat his opponent in a dogfight. It was just pull it back on the stick when this guy wasn't ready for it, and it's reversed. This guy's trying the same thing. No, he's not. Oh yes, he went up 25 alpha. He didn't pull hard enough and quick enough. So now I think they just chase each other around for ages. I don't know what Tender's doing. He should have shot this guy, obviously. Tender seems to have a problem with target acquisition for some reason. And they go on and fight each other. I don't think anything fancy happens there. Gonna run that forward. Okay, I think Stahl's given up at this point. It's just flying straight and level. Tender's finally got his man. Oh, Tender appears to be Winchester. Still going on. The guns are hard to use in the F5, I find, and Squiddle is obviously struggling too. And finally they take him down. That's the end of that. Very good. Great moves we're seeing today. Even more KH missiles going in from Sonic or someone. Great to see. All the SAMs are down now. Udorosa's just having a fight with the MiG-21 there. I don't think that was very good. I think that's the end, guys. That is the end. I'm pausing that. Loads of stuff to look back on and learn from there. Loads of mistakes. Loads of good stuff. Stuff to learn from. I hope all my guys come and watch that. I've got to go now, put the movie together and make the mission for tonight and fly the mission for tonight and make the movie and everything. So I better get off. I'll see you later.